Afternoon, Joanne. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks, Cate. And yourself?
Very well indeed. And I'm just so excited about your backdrop there. It's the most alive backdrop I've seen in a while.
Thank you. I am partial to turquoise. It connects me to the water, and it just is my very happy place.
Yeah. And there you are in Sanctuary Point on the New South Wales South Coast. And it's just lovely to be chatting with you.
Thank you. Well, I'd love to say thank you for welcoming me into SoulAdvisor, onto this beautiful platform that enables people to connect to many different holistic programs and health therapies. So I'm very excited to be here and appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, it's just lovely to have you. And I feel, Qi Gong, which is your particular practice, is one of more than 100 that we represent, but it's a very beautiful, accessible practice. So I'm quite excited to have you share what you know about Qi Gong. And today, as you and I were talking about, we're going to look at how to keep calm in a storm, whatever that storm may be.
Yes, that's a beautiful way of putting it. Thank you, Cate. So look, my name is Joanne and I'm from Healthy Self Wellbeing. And there's a bit of a punt on the healthy self, because if you look at the whole word, it also reads as heal thyself. So, I really love that, that we can heal ourselves, because that is our natural way of actually being. And I came to Qigong in my 20s. As a young mother, needing to just find some respite. And I've always been very interested in the body and how to look after it. So I took myself off to a class and started off with a program called Shi Ba Shi, which is a set of 18 beautiful flowing movements containing both Tai Chi and Qigong. And I did that for a little while just to help myself center and give myself some space and time out, also using the body in a very gentle, very gentle way. And I took this program into a facility called Links to Learning, where I shared it with young teenagers who had behavioural problems, to help them calm themselves, because it is a mind-body practice. And just recently, about 6 years ago, I came down to this beautiful place, the South Coast, Sanctuary Point. I do feel like I'm living in a sanctuary, and just really wanted to live a healthy lifestyle for myself and then be able to share it with the community. And it just seemed at that time that there was this perfect marriage, because what I was offering, people were looking for. I did come down introducing Tai Chi at the start, because that's what I had first started out with, which is based on a martial art practice, but for health. And then I was introduced to Qi Gong, which I just fell in love with. It just felt like for me that it encompassed all mind, body, spirit practices for me, because it's really based on the breath, on posture, and on movement. So there's this beautiful balance of yin yang in the stillness and the dynamic movements of the exercise. And Tai Chi is based on, it comes out of Qigong. So I just love how the community have accepted me, because when you come into a new community, sometimes it's a little bit daunting. But as I said, there was this perfect marriage of the offering and the receiving. And I love the practice of Qigong.
Oh, sorry, that's the most beautiful gift to bring, you're giving people the capacity to heal themselves. Like I imagine that their arms were wide open to receive that.
Yes. And because we can take this practice at a personal level and do it wherever we are, but when we come and gather in community, it just I'm getting goosebumps. It just lights it up. It just lights it up. So the breath, posture, and movement, we can do that anywhere, whether we're sitting in a car, standing and waiting at a cash register, shopping, whilst we're cooking. So it helps us to be very functional at home too. And because Qigong is based, it's a very ancient art and a very ancient Chinese practice. So it's been around for a long time. It's true, tried and tested. And a lot of the Qigong exercises are given as medicine in the Qigong hospitals, or in the traditional Chinese medicine hospitals over in China. So yeah, it's true.
What a great thing, isn't it? That, you know, it's saying to us, or that is saying to me anyway, you can cure yourself with your body, your breath, and your intention. You can cure yourself. And I guess one of the major kind of problems of this day and age is stress, isn't it? And just being in overwhelm.
Yes, and this is where the breath definitely encompasses everything. If we can just be still enough to, even if it's 5 minutes or 1 minute, but to be really consciously with the breath and the presence within ourselves, that can do wonders for us. Now, Qi Gong, the word itself is Qi, energy, and Gong is the practice of. So really what we're tapping into is the natural intelligence of the universe. And I think we haven't really we haven't explored that enough, or perhaps we just don't understand how that works. But once you do the practice, you start to feel things and you start to see how your life changes. It's like a big personal development with a great bunch of people where you feel supported. So I do have classes that I run here in Sanctuary Point and Huskisson, Kalala Beach and St George's Basin. But with SoulAdvisor, I'd really love to be able to get this out more online, because that way people can access it from their homes if they aren't able to come to the classes, or they might just like to be doing it from home. So as you said, Cate, we've just come through a couple of years where people have just been stressed out tremendously. And I always find from the feedback from the participants that even if it's just for that 1 hour that we're together, your mind can just relax. You're in a safe space and you can just be present, truly present to yourself. And that hour can do you for the rest of the week. You know, so also it creates a beautiful social connection for people where they don't feel like that they're on their own and having to do it on their own. So the exercises themselves are very gentle, they're very safe, and because we're doing everything slow, smooth and continuously or just gently flowing, you're strengthening your body, you're coordinating your right and left side of the brains, because we need to do things 2 ways. It really is bringing in that balance and harmony of yin yang.
I think that's a beautiful point, isn't it? That it's so gentle and accessible that really no matter what state you're in, you can do it. And I've seen people teach Qigong even to those that are chair bound.
Absolutely. Yes. And I was just saying in class today also that we have 3 options of doing the practice or being the practice. The physical, where we're standing, you can, yes, do it seated. And if you can't do it seated, you can just go there in your mind, because where our attention goes, the energy follows. That's a natural law of the universe. So, you know, we really are tapping into the vast intelligence of the universal energies, and it's right there for us. All we've got to do is just touch it. So I'd like to perhaps just show people, your audience or our audience, perhaps just a couple of things that they might be able to do when they're at home, or they wanted to connect with the practice of Qigong, if that's okay.
That would be beautiful. And what I'm thinking is that when you're showing these, the couple of things, that those are both preventative, like they strengthen you, don't they, if you practice these few little things, but they could perhaps also be used if you do get into that point of overwhelm or need something.
The greatest medicine to overcome the overwhelm is the breath. The breath, if you look at the word breath, it contains the word heart, earth, ear, root. You know, it's got everything that we need within that word, and we can access that. And so when we connect to the breath, we connect to the presence, we'll naturally go into the relaxation mode, the parasympathetic mode of the body's own intelligence. And we're giving it space to just be, where that's where the healing occurs. And so when we are feeling stressed, if we can just do a conscious breath, connect to the earth, connect to the ground through the feet, and connect to the great central sun through the top of the head. Even as we're sitting now, we can do that. We are being present. We can connect right here, right now. And just perhaps close our eyes for a moment and just place the hands on the knees. And just connect to the breath, not wanting to change it, just to connect with it, become aware of it. Breathing in and out through the nose. And just feel the breath breathing your body. This is the conscious breath. And if you can do this for even just a minute, it will take you into a relaxation. If you watch someone else doing it as an observer, it will take you there as well, which is also beautiful. So if you are at home watching this, I'd like to just extend the invitation for you to join me just in a couple of movements that you can experience. So posture is really important for strengthening the core in whatever we do. So if we just bring our feet together where it feels comfortable and just relax and connect your roots, the roots of your feet, to the roots into the earth. Then from the base of the spine, just imagining each vertebra rising up towards the top of the head. And then from the crown of your head, just connecting to the great central sun and drawing that heavenly Qi down through your body back into your feet and into the earth. Then imagine you're sitting on the edge of a high chair where the chair is taking the balance of the most of your weight. Your knees will gently and naturally relax. This strengthens your legs. And as you tuck the pelvis under, start strengthening the core. Just relax the shoulders down to the earth and just tuck your chin back slightly. And this posture is known as wuji, or being in a state of nothingness. And if you can do this outside next to the beach or next to a beautiful tree, or just have your feet on the grass, you will feel so energized. And now if we just take a step out to the side with your left foot so that your feet are shoulder width apart, this brings us into yin yang, the balance of life. So when you're feeling stressed, you can do this process, what we've just done, whether seated or standing, and it will take you into a peace. It's got to get, your mind has got to focus that energy on the breath. And then once that takes you there, it takes you down into that peace. Just going to do one exercise called waving hands in the air from the Shavasana. Just gently raise the arms, relaxing the shoulders and the elbows, and gently sinking. It's like waving your hands and your arms being like water, and then connecting to the waters of your own body. Breathing in here and breathing out there. And relax. Just placing the hands on the lower part of your belly, what we call the dantian. The solar plexus here is the area where all our Qi is gathered and contained. And when we're sitting with the breath, we can go to this space and just ask the energy of the Qi that we've collected from the universe to just go to every cell within the body. And as you're intending that with your mind, it is so. You could choose a color, golden white light. And it could just be with one cell, and then that one cell bumps up against all those other cells and just lights your whole body up. And of course, when you put a smile on your face, it releases all the natural endorphins of your body. And here we're connecting to the Qi, the natural universal life force energy that's available to us at all times. And that's why I love this practice so much, because it just incorporates nature, which is who we are, and all the beautiful energies that are available to us.
Oh, just doing that for the last 3 minutes, it's all you need. It just brings you back, doesn't it?
It brings you back to your center. So when there's a lot going on in your mind, come back into the breath. And I know that's not always easy, because there's a lot of stresses, and the mind is the one that goes chatter, 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 chatter. That's why it's good to include the movement, because when you're in your body, you really do ground yourself. And it takes you out of your mind. So that's why the mind-body connection is really, they really go hand in hand. And then you've got your own soul, your heart, your spirit, that's just naturally there with you. If you can just come into the heart space and connect with that, you've got a trilogy of joy.
Oh, thank you. That's a beautiful place to stop and have everyone walk away into their lives, having watched what you've just shared with that trilogy of joy. I just, for me, this pure simplicity of what you've just taught us is really, really precious. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today. And I'd love to encourage anybody who wants to ask more, because there's plenty more to tell and plenty more to show, to contact you through the SoulAdvisor platform and do Joanne Fabri, Fabri, Fabri. And you can create a discovery call with Joanne and just see how she might best guide you to what you need at this point in your life. So thanks so much for being with us, Joanne. And I'll stop recording now.
Okay, thank you so much, Cate, and thank you everyone for your time.